this video, I'm going to give you 10 of my safety tips for baby strippers. My name is Leah Lorette, and I have been in the adult entertainment industry for 14 years. I've worked in hole-in-the-wall strip clubs, I've worked in high-end VIP-focused gentlemen's clubs, I've been a travel dancer, and I do online adult content and am currently a pro dom. Unfortunately, a lot of topics in this video are not very positive, but they are important to know, to be aware of, and to consider when you are doing this work in order to keep yourself safe. My number one tip is to not linger. Don't linger in your car when you're getting to work or at the gas station. Don't linger in your car when you are leaving work. Don't linger in the parking lot, in and out of your car, and making sure that you get to work, you grab all your stuff, you lock your car, you go inside. When you're leaving work, always, always, always have someone from the club walk you to your car, watch them get into the car, and they watch you drive away. Okay, they have other girls that they need to walk out, other performers, so don't take your time, and you don't want to take so long that they end up going back inside before you leave, and then no one is watching to make sure that there is no one following you. In the instance that you think someone is watching you maliciously, make sure that you let someone know. And in the instance that you think someone is following you home from work, it is better to assume that they are, call the club and drive back to the club, than to assume that they might not be and to keep driving home and then something bad happening. It's better to be safe than sorry, and I've seen this happen a couple of times to some of my coworkers. The best thing that you can do is either drive to a well-lit place that has other people present if you can't get back to the club, or better is to call the club, tell them that you think someone is following you, give them any descriptions that you can of the vehicle, and to drive back to the club. Oftentimes they will see you kind of go back to the club and they'll keep going and they'll leave, but you want to make sure that they're not like hiding out when you leave again. Okay, and this idea of not lingering, not loitering, is particularly important at the end of the night when you have cash on you. Okay, people know that you're working there, people know that you made some sort of money, and there are nefarious people who are either trying to rob you or assault you. And if you linger, if you loiter, your chances of that happening go up tenfold. Now, my second tip, which is tied into this, is getting gas in your car before you have to go to work so that you do not have to stop for gas on your way home after work. One of the leading causes of people getting kidnapped and trafficked is being alone at gas stations at night, particularly for female presenting people. Now, if you show up at the gas station at 4 a.m. with a full beat of makeup on, people are going to assume, especially if there's a club nearby, that you are a dancer and that you have money. And people particularly already want to do bad things to women and female presenting people, but they particularly want to do them or don't have the same recourse around our humanity when we are sex workers, which is the unfortunate reality that we live in. And so this is a really, really, really important safety tip to keep in mind, is to not be at gas stations in the middle of the night by yourself, and to not linger or loiter before or after work in your car, in the parking lot, etc. Now, my third tip is your identity and cybersecurity. There are so many ways now that we are being tracked, right? If you have Bluetooth on your phone turned on, if you have Wi-Fi turned on your phone, if you have location services turned on your phone, your location and anything in the vicinity of you, and oftentimes with our social media apps, anyone in the vicinity of you, are being pinged out, right? And so turn off your Wi-Fi, turn off your Bluetooth, turn off your location services. The only reason why you should have your location services on is if you are sharing location with someone that you know, so that they know that you are getting home or to work or to see a client safely, okay? Turn off your location services or location sharing, live location, whatever it is, on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever apps have them. Go in and disable it inside of those apps, and then go into your settings on your actual phone and turn off location sharing with those apps individually in your phone, and then turn off your location, GPS, your Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, whatever, when you are going to the club. Okay, you don't need Wi-Fi at the club because you're working. Turn it all off. And the reason why I say this is because I have literally had people who came into the club that I didn't even interact with as a customer, but I saw them and they saw me. They were like, we were recommended to each other on our civilian real life Facebook profiles in Facebook to be like a suggested friend. That completely destroyed any sense of safety and security and anonymity that I had as soon as someone who I did not give that information to in the club suddenly, without them even looking for it, because there are people who will go looking for it as well, Facebook just was like, oh, these two people were in the vicinity of each other because they are tracking your phone and your location. And they recommended us, okay? There's so much online for cybersecurity, but this is something that is applicable to the club. There's lots of other points to that, like don't give people your real name. Don't give people identifying information about you, where you went to school, where you live, who lives in your house, whether you have a boyfriend or not, whether you have kids or not. Don't tell people any of that information, because it only takes one or two pieces of information and they can find you. And for some people, it's fine. They're just not fine because it's still stalkery, non-consensual behavior, but they don't mean it harmfully. But there are those out there who do intend harm, who do use that information maliciously, and you need to protect yourself. So really be aware of your identity, what you share with people, and your cyber security. My fourth tip is to not meet customers that you meet in the club outside of the club. This is particularly for my baby dancers. When you've been in the game for a while and you're going to make that bag, you're going to make adult decisions, that is your prerogative if you want to meet customers outside the club as clients in that way. But to do that, and to do that safely, you need to follow safety protocols and client screening protocols in order to keep yourself safe. Okay? That's a whole separate video, that is a whole separate conversation. But my general advice for baby dancers is to not meet them outside of the club if you can help it. If you are going to meet them out of the club, you need to get paid upfront for your time. Doesn't matter if they're taking you shopping, buying you dinner, whatever, they need to pay you for your time, because what these customers want is they don't want to pay for your time in the club if they think they can see you outside the club for free. Okay? Your time is money in or out of the club. If you're going to meet them outside of the club, make them pay for it, screen them, and be safe. Next tip, which I talked about in one of my last videos, which I'll cue up here on the card, is boundaries, maintaining physical, mental, emotional boundaries. This is what you will or won't do with clients in a lap dance room. This is what you will or won't tolerate from customers, coworkers, or your managerial staff. Okay? This is your mental, emotional boundaries in order to maintain your sense of self and sense of identity and to not lose yourself in this work. Next tip is to lock up your car, lock your locker, lock your dancer bags, and take your stuff home. Take everything home. People will steal your shit. Okay? It's gonna happen eventually. Lock up your stuff. Don't leave your shit at the club. Take it home. Okay? Don't leave things like in your car, especially where people are in the club parking lot all night. Someone's gonna peek in your car and be like, oh, that's a really nice Gucci bag. Oh, that's a purse. They probably have money in it if they're here at the club. There's a laptop bag. Like, don't leave things out visually that people can see and assume is some sort of item of value, and lock your car, lock your bags, and take your stuff home. And at home, have a lockbox. Whether you have roommates or not, whether you live in a regular house or an apartment building, whatever, doesn't matter. Lock up your stuff. If you're gonna have cash at home, I don't recommend keeping large amounts of cash on you or at home. At work, in your car, in your purse, while traveling, in your house, don't do it. It sets you up for being robbed. And if you're traveling, it also sets you up for being questioned by authorities of why you have this much money. They can seize it under the grounds of thinking that you are drug trafficking. And so you should not be traveling with tons of money. If you're a travel dancer, what I recommend is making sure that there's some sort of bank that you have an account with wherever you're going to work. And every couple of days that you're working while you're traveling, you have a lockbox because you're traveling and you don't know who you're going to be around, whether you're staying at the club that you're working at, which I've done before, staying in a hotel, staying with other dancers, whatever. Have a lockbox, and then every couple of days you take the cash that you have made down to the bank and you deposit it in the bank. This is before you drive across the country, before you fly wherever. TSA will stop you and take that 10 grand out of your bag. Okay. Don't do it. If you have a ton of cash at home, it's not making you anything. It is not, put that shit in a high yield savings account. Okay. If you're not spending it, put it in a high yield savings account, invest it into stocks, whatever. Talk to a financial advisor. Don't keep that cash on you. If you do, your neighbors can find out what you do, especially if you live in like an apartment building. People learn your habits and your schedule. If you have a social media account, people are obviously aware of how much money you're making, if you're doing money counts and things like that, and they can find where you live. It just puts you at a high risk of getting robbed. So don't keep or carry large amounts of cash on you. Next tip is don't give out other dancers' schedules to customers, especially that you don't know, and especially when you don't have permission to do so. This also goes for other people like your waitresses and your bartenders and things like that, but it's particularly for other dancers. Now, the thing with this is you never know when a customer is someone's stalker, is someone's crazy ex-boyfriend, abuser, pimp, what have you, and you are putting that person at risk by telling a customer, oh yeah, Mercedes will be here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or she works every Saturday, or things like that. Don't do that. Just be like, oh, I don't know. You'll have to come in and see if she's here. Like, just play it off like that because you want to keep your coworkers safe and they should be doing the same for you. Tip number 9, and I hate to say this because it sounds very stereotypical, but don't trust anyone. Don't trust customers, don't trust coworkers. That's not to say that you can't develop really good connections or even friendships with customers or particularly coworkers. I have lifelong friends that I have made in the club. But more often than not, someone wants to use you. Everyone is out to get their own bag, or in the instance of customers, they're there for what they want, right? And so part of this is maintaining awareness and boundaries and discernment, but you really want to maintain yourself. Most people in the club are not there to make friends, they're there to make a bag. And you don't know what situation a coworker is in their life that might make them do shitty stuff in order to make that bag. They could steal customers from you after you invited them into, the VIP area. They might go behind your back and do something or say something that affects your money or your job even. You don't know who has a pimp. You don't know who's doing shady shit on the side with the manager. And if they're trying to pull you into some sort of like trafficking situation, which happened at an old club that I worked at, where the favorites of the manager were actually like luring new entertainers in to be trafficked outside of the club. You don't know what customers mean you harm. You don't know any of that. And so generally, to just be safe, don't trust anyone. People need to earn your trust, okay? My last tip, which ties into that and ties into all of our other tips, is spatial awareness, situational awareness, and considering being aware of what could be potentially escalatable risky behavior, particularly in customers, particularly in VIP, etc. Just having situational awareness, being mindful of what could be, is, or might become a dangerous situation. Where do you need to, put up a boundary or leave a situation or what have you. And that's just something that you learn. And most of us as women, as femme-presenting people, kind of navigate our lives that way already. But you need to do it tenfold when you are doing sex work of any kind. So those are my 10 safety tips for new dancers, baby midnight ballerinas. And I hope that these help you. I hope that these give you a foundational understanding of how to be safe while you are doing this work. If you have any questions or concerns, if you need coaching or consultation, you can get that information in the description box down below. If you liked this video, please give it a like, give me a follow, save this video, share it with your friends. And if you have safety tips that you would like to give to others, be sure to leave it in a comment. Or if you have questions about something in this video that you want me to expand on, or if you want to see a particular topic video, let me know.